Instead of producing a video about the incel uprising, Korea, or even some video game compilation last week, I chose to spend my limited free time outside, enjoying the shift here from a long and dreary winter to a green and blooming spring. I use this time to collect my thoughts and re-energize, as well as reassess. I was watching the overall reaction of comedians and pundits to this aforementioned incel uprising that kinda kicked me into this mood, this reflective, almost depressed state. Because my reaction was shame. Not for them, though I did feel that, but for myself. And unpacking this, it took some doing. But the root of it, the real root, was shame at having contributed. Not to incel boards or not to anything like that, but having contributed to something that fundamentally made me realize that I was arguably doing nothing any better than those comedians and pundits. Because what they were doing was fundamentally no different from what I've done, or been a part of, or watched, or commented on. Participated in, anyway, one way or the other. In the unlikely event you don't know, incels are a small clique of dudes on the internet that lack the confidence, charm, or, admittedly, although this is rarely the case, the good looks to attain the relationships they desire, or, alternatively, feel they are owed. Much of what they discuss is distasteful in tone and content. And, these being the brief facts, much of the daily talk show and comedic Twitter sphere was more than happy to essentially mock and attack this group of amorphic losers. The blatant hypocrisy of the act shocked me, even, for a moment, from these don't punch down people. Let's be clear.
War.
This is not a defense of incels, however much they should or could be defended. This is a realization that it's all just become this. Everyone on every side just finding the losers and the freaks and the outliers, the fools and the nuts, and holding them up in the sun and laughing at the cringe, laughing at them squirming and laughing at their own reaction to them squirming, just laughing at the freaks. And this disgust reaction to these comedy routines, this internalized as I realized that this channel, my Twitter, much of anyone's feed on any site that isn't mostly updates about their life, cat pictures, or some hobby, it's all just kinda this. Because it sells. Because the lowest common denominator has to have something to laugh at, and something to feel superior to. And God forbid that invoke empathy, because, well, that would make one reassess one's own position. Subconsciously, I think that's why my hard shift in content occurred. I no longer was getting any utils from this behavior, and frankly, never made enough money from it to override my sense of reality. So, here I am, just stuck being honest with myself. So, in the spirit of that honesty, don't be a very online person. Walk away every once in a while. If you feel depressed, go work out. Get a hobby. I know it sounds stupid, but do it. Do it for a week and see what happens. I don't need a Jordan Peterson type personally, but Christ, I am by no means surprised or upset by his basic self-help message catching on. Get it together. If you have to have real targets, reassess them and make sure that they're the right ones. Bypass the extremely obvious outrage and clickbait headlines, the manufactured trends on these websites. I worry for the future of civilization, not from above as so many people seem to, but frankly from below. Try empathy as a tool. It's largely underutilized. I tried my damnedest to keep that spirit, and even with people like Brother Polite or Young Pharaoh, I see what hurt them, and I see the wounds that have festered and combined with their various life circumstances to culminate in this apparent rage and madness. And at least part of my motivation in laughing is to expel this sadness and frustration that comes with bearing witness. And the only way I manage to do that is to laugh. Truth is, it was this revelation of a lack of empathy or compassion or care that initially pushed me away from some of my old socio-political circles, when I realized that they actually just hated the rich more than they could ever love the poor. And now I just spend my days trying my best not to be this guy.
My name is Frank. That's not important. The important question is, who are you? America has become a cruel and vicious place. We reward the shallowest, the dumbest, the meanest, and the loudest. We no longer have any common sense of decency, no sense of shame. There's no right and wrong. The worst qualities in people are looked up to and celebrated. Lying, spreading fear are fine, as long as you make money doing it. We've become a nation of slogans saying, bile-spewing hate mongers. We've lost our kindness. We've lost our soul. And what have we become when we take the weakest in our society and we hold them up to be ridiculed, laughed at for our sport and entertainment? Laughed at to the point where they will literally rather kill themselves than live with us anymore.
Frank?
Yeah, Stephen?
I didn't try to kill myself because people were making fun of me. I tried to kill myself because they weren't going to put me on TV anymore.